We're here. It's live. I'm here. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ancient Architects. We did it. The weekend. We smashed it. March of Winters 2 was awesome. I'm not saying it was the greatest Warhammer 40k event of all time, but it's definitely in the top 3. And Scotty Chips has joined the chat straight in. Welcome to the 13th Fleet, Scotty. Tier 3 channel member straight away. Boom, off the bat. I haven't even asked yet. Already got a member. Thank you, Scotty6 Chips. So nice to meet many of you there, like Jackus Wood from Not France is in the chat. Andy Hates, Heresy Squad, Painting Plastic Miniatures, Wraith Raider, Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor. It was a great event. We herded cats. We played the greatest sporting event in Warhammer 40k history. We Squig Game, Dodgeball with Squigs. And then we also did Murder Bowl, Classic. Everyone likes the Classic. High Daily Dice, High Swamp Song, Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor, gifting and membership as well. Thank you. Thank you very much. If you've got a gifted membership, say thank you to Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor. Gifted memberships come in at Tier 2, which gives you access to the Discord. Tier 3 gives you access to the Discord and all the emojis and everything, and also an extra battle report every single Witness Wednesday. There's one coming up tomorrow. So yes, Squig Herd, Cat Herd, Squig Game, Dodgeball with Squigs. Much fun, joy all round, and we're trying to line up a couple more events for members next year. There's already another event for members next year. King of the North is coming. It's already sold out, 25th of January, back at Element Games in Manchester. That's already sold out. And I'm planning on doing 2 more events next year. There's definitely a 2-day narrative event coming up on the other side of summer, sometime in September, October. I'll announce it when I know what the hell I'm doing, which will probably be summer. No, we'll do it before then. And then we also want to fit in another March of Winters, because March of Winters 1 and March of Winters 2 was awesome. Playing silly games, having fun, throwing squigs back at. And thank you to Badger King for painting 2,000 squigs. 2,000 squigs. If you want to play any of the games that were played at March of Winters 2, they're in the Discord as well. I think there's community events at the top, community games. Towards the top, there's a thread where you can see the games, the community games. And Cat Herder, by the way, would recommend. 10 out of 10. Must bang. Wraith Raider says he's not sure about being in a room full of members. Yeah, it was a room full of members. Massive members were there. And yeah, more member events coming next year. If you want to play those games, check out the Discord. I do recommend Cat Herder. Am I still playing Space Marine? I am smashing the crap out of Space. I played a bit of Space Marine earlier on with Salt and Plays from Salt and Plays YouTube channel. He's trying to rank up his Bulwark. And I'm trying to rank up the grapple guy. Vanguard, I think. But I've got 4 level 25s now. But I'm also trying to rank up the other guns that the level 25s have. So I'm ranking them up on the operations. I'm loving the Space Marine. I am loving the Space Marine. I'm so pleased they didn't screw that game up. So pleased. I mean, 50 quid for a full price game with a 6 to 8 hour campaign. Many hours of replayability on operations mode, plus the online PvP, plus ongoing support. It's just, they didn't screw up, did they? They didn't screw up. My claws are a bit... This thumb in particular, a bit of paint on there from painting yesterday. This thumb in particular is beginning to feel it a little bit. And I got a bit of tennis elbow as well. From holding the controller's literally sat next to me, because this is the laptop and that's the gaming monitor that you guys are on right now. And yes, just loaded for me. YouTube is terrible now. Ads loading. Yes, ads. It's how we make our money. And also members. Thank you to all the members. You're awesome. If you'd like to support me, then consider becoming a channel member. I need the support. I need lots of support. This doesn't happen on its own. The Russian Bastard has been a member for 36 months and his skull has turned peachy and he likes it. 36 months, you're one of the OGs. One of the OGs. He's walking, he's talking, he's past his terrible twos, he's out of his nappies, he's running around all over the place. He's a goddamn legend. Excellent. Not in the front room. How can Mrs. Winters sit and watch? Mrs. Winters does not sit and watch me play. Mrs. Winters, she's not a fan of the Warhams. I don't know why. I told you the story about Lord of the Rings, right? Because she's not really a fan of fantasy or sci-fi at all. And I tried to get her to watch Lord of the Rings. And she said no. But I worked on her over a period of time, over many years. And I think it was last Christmas, she sat down and watched Lord of the Rings for the first time. And then she watched it again. For someone who doesn't like fantasy, I feel like I achieved something. I spreaded the word of Lord of the Rings. She loved it. Heresy Squad, member for 11 months. Thank you. Everyone liked the stream. Yes, click that like button, that thumb up button, that subscribe button. Pray to the machine spirit. Rub oil on your devices, okay? And then rub the oily device or the laptop all over yourself while humming to the machine. Winter's Craven AMG, he's back from outer space. I just walked in and found you here with that sad look upon your face. Welcome back, Craven. Welcome. Russian in there as well. Yeah, it was a safe trip on the way home, though the M6 was closed. I had to do a massive diversion, and there was a ruined storm of epic proportions. You know when the windscreen wipers and you put them on super fast like that? A ruined storm, pretty much like it is today. I mean, it's like October in the UK. The weather is a bit shitty. Oily. You're not the only oily device. There are many oily devices. You are probably an oily device, but you can have other oily. Like before I go online, this thing in front of me, I drench in baby oil, light a few candles, sacrifice a penguin, that sort of thing. Yeah, Lord of the Rings does transcend genres. Craven AMG has gifted 5 memberships. Can we have a big GG's in the chat for Craven AMG? GG's in the chat. Thank you, Craven AMG. He's back with a bang, people. GG's in the chat all round for Craven AMG. I don't know where he's gone, where he went. Thanks, Jackus Woods, not French. Inchin, Wraith Raider, Heresy Squat, Mark. Just Mark. I like that. Mark, you need to change your name to like just Mark. Mark is good, but just Mark, that's better. It's a good handle. Like a British person. That's a good tagline. Friendly neighborhood inquisitor. You know, that's a good tagline. Don't know very many friendly neighborhood inquisitors. Mostly not very friendly or neighborhoody, but friendly neighborhood inquisitor. You can't remember how. That would be a good tag name as well. I can't remember how. That would be good. I missed a lot of streams, so I'm feeling celebratory words. He's feeling it. Hi, Turkards. Hi, Turkards. Turkated's Workshop. See, that's a name. That's what you want. You've got to get back on the road, Craven. Get back on the road, fella. Hope you're nowhere near Florida, because I understand there is a warp storm coming through that place of unbelievable proportions. There's nothing wrong with the name Mark. Nothing wrong with the name Mark. But lots of people have Marks. So when people appear on the channel, like Craig is just Craig. When people appear on the chat, it's like Steve, not Rob. You've got to, give it some juice. You've got to give it some juice. Got to give it some pickles. You've got to give it some onions. You can't be Mark. You're Ohio, okay? Ohio. No idea where that is. I know it's in America land. The land of freedom. Like Woof Poot Chronicles, for example. That's a great name. Should be Stylus. Because that is Stylus. Who runs Woof Poot Chronicles blog. Check it out. There's lots of Marvel Crisis Protocol on there right now and old world stuff. Yes, I do check out your stuff every now and then, Stylus. Still wish you should change your name to Stylus instead of Whoopoo Chronicles. Do you bear the mark of Mark? Yeah, Marky Mark would be a good one. Yeah. So Storms here as well, by the way. It's been, I don't know where you are in the world right now. Is there anyone not in the UK in the chat? Can we have ones in the chat for people not in the UK, please? I just want to give a little bit of a feel. And twos in the chat if you are in the UK. One if you're not in the UK. Twos in the chat if you are in the UK. Let's find out how international, how cultured, how travelled the chat is this evening. I have a German flag, which is neither a 1 nor 2. Typical Germans. Plenty of ones. There's a 47-inch in. That is legendary. Andy HS7. Plenty of twos. Plenty of twos and a few ones. I think we're more international than we are UK right now. The Hobo's been a member for 21 months. Is there anything you want me to say to throw Mini Wargaming lads as I'm going there on Saturday? No, say hi. Give Mini Wargaming Dave a hug for me. Mini Wargaming Dave is an absolute legend. One of the few people I've met in this industry who's just genuinely a nice guy and genuinely wants the best for everyone he meets. He's like a living saint, that guy. Should be canonized. Lots of ones and twos. I think mainly twos and a few 2.5s. So we're quite international this evening. Twos and the ones are international. The twos are here. The twos in the chat will know about the weather. Talking about warp storms hitting. It's been like the UK in October, which is bad. We need another summer holiday. Midlands, been raining for 3 hours. Washington State, West Coast USA. Hello, Wargaming and Cuba Libre. Where does Scotland fall? Scotland is in the UK. It's its own country. They're very angry. Lovely people, but very angry. If you lived in Scotland, you'd be very angry too. Mainly Wargaming Dave is living St. Celestine. I know, right? He's a legend. When you go there, the Hobo, make sure you enjoy yourself. Give him a hug. Say Winter says hi to everyone there. They're absolute legends. I wish them all the best. Stick your pin in the map. Peter is up for a big tournament soon. Bring in Papa Nurgle's Death Guard, 2,000 points. What is your idea of a strong list for Pariah Nexus right now? For Death Guard, good question. Okay. So, Death Guard, you need some maneuverability. So, you'll probably bring in Typhus on his own and a Lord of Contagion on their own and maybe a third Lord on their own to deep strike in, get behind enemy lines, to do stuff on the edges for containment, things like that. You need, because we don't have a unit of 5 Warp Talons that can deep strike in or. So first up, you need some individual characters that are deep striking in to do miniature actions on the edges of the board. You need a couple of drones to push forward to harass the enemy and spread the contagion range. You need a strong core to attract lots of attention. And then, so I'd go drones, individual characters. I'd go triple tanks, triple drones, triple units of Mephitic Blight Haulers. Triple characters dropping in the backfield. I'd also bring a demon contingent of Nurglings if I was doing a tournament. They either have Infiltrate or Scout, I forget which one it is. So you can set them up further up the board and, quite frankly, an obscene amount of wounds. So you need them up the table. And then, yeah, your tanks and your drones and your Mephitic Blight Haulers are doing the killing, as well as units of Plague Marines to also do killing, because they can do some killing as well. That's what I would do. Where are we? Washington, Northeast. Been raining all day and it's my second trick there. Full week of... You got a full week of Heresy, the Hobo. Legendary. Cool. Thoughts on Dark Mechanica models? Lovely. Want more of them. Winters, what's your view on Pariah for Custodes? I always play tactical, but unsure if fixed might be better. Playing against 2,000 points of Necrons in my next game, PS first stream. Fan of 7-ish years. Hi, Mega Scotty. Hello from South Wales as well, Mac LeBanc. What are you reading at the moment? Ask me in a moment, Mariscade. Your view on Pariah for Custodes. Custodes aren't in the best place right now. Again, you want minimal... So, it's got to be Trajan, Valorous. It's got to be some Terminators. And you're probably bracking up the Custodies with some Forge World units as well. If you want to go really competitive, the tanks with the guns on for your long-range Dakka, because Custodies have a weakness, which is their long-range Dakka. Not much of it. So you've got some Terminators for some chonk with Trajan Valoris. You've got some tanks with long-range Dakka. If you haven't got long-range Dakka, then it's going to be even tougher for you. You want a couple of small units. The thing about Custodies is they all have deep strike, so you can deep strike a chunk of them in all over the place to grab your things. And the other thing is they get their critical hits or lethal hits in every single round now, not just the first with the shield host attachment. Shield host attachment is the way to go. Custodies is hard mode right now, so I would check on Reddit, find some lists and practice the crap out of it. If it was me and I was playing Custodies, that's what I would do. What am I reading at the moment? I'm still on the End and the Death, listening through the End and the Death while painting over here. And I believe, where are we? I'm 4 hours from the end of part 2 of the End and the Death. Any Mechanicum Legio Imperialis in the near future winters? No. There is Knights on the channel right now. There is some Mechanicum 30k coming out, but no Legion Imperialis from me for the foreseeable future, because I don't have people to play it with. I don't really have a Legion Imperialis army, to be honest. I like Legion Imperialis. I played it a bit, and I do know that it's quite well. It's well received. The people who play Legion Imperialis, the people I've spoken to play, my experiences with Legion Imperialis was it was very legionary and very Imperialis-y and very fun. It is a good game system. It's just not I need a regular opponent. A bit like regular bowel movements. You need them as well. You know, high brand content in your thing. What am I painting at the moment? I am painting this heavily converted Master of Possession for World Eaters, which was converted by... Damn. Dude, I gotta remember the dude. You know the dude? The guy who does all the converting things. He's in the Discord. What's his name? Stranger Come Knocking Hobbies. Check out Stranger... I can't make the camera focus. But Stranger Come Knocking Hobbies converted the crap out of that bad boy. And he's genius. And that's just some of the base colours on it for now. I'm painting that up because he's an awesome centerpiece model. And me and Al, SEO, are going to King of the North on the 26th of January. And he'll be bringing his World Eaters along. And he doesn't trust himself to paint that one because he can paint. But he's not a G. And I'm a G. My painting is... I haven't put in for Golden Demon yet because you've got to let other people win it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to paint that up so it looks absolutely gorgeous. And also, Stranger Come Knocking Hobbies deserves to see his model look as best as it can. And if Alex did it, it would look okay. But if I did it, you know. Hail Gaming. Thank you for your donation. Thank you so much. Thank you. GG's in the chat for Hail Gaming, first dono of the evening as well. We're popping off tonight, this evening, chaps. We're popping off. GG's in the chat for Hail Gaming. Thank you. If Stormtroopers thank you, Inshin, rode Drewbacks on Tatooine, what would they ride in Swindon? There's a video that ends with a Bully XL joke if you haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. If Stormtroopers, what would Stormtroopers... Stormtroopers would ride a 50cc Yamaha moped in Swindon that makes lawnmower noises up and down the street every time of day, every time of night, and he would probably live 3 houses away over there, and in the middle of a battle report, he would turn it on and off 4 times, and it would make it a nightmare to edit videos because I like to leave the windows open unless it's absolutely freezing outside when I'm filming battle reports, because there's a lot of light in there and it gets very, very hot and very, very sweaty and smelly. Yeah. Connor, what's that? Do I think Thanatars and other 30k automata will ever be allowed in 40k? The answer, I've been waiting for over a decade decade for Thanatars and other 30k automata to be allowed in 40k, and it still hasn't happened. Do I think it's going to happen? No, because Games Workshop doesn't like us to have nice things. They don't want, no, it's not going to happen. What we're going to get is next year, 2025 is the year of chaos. We're going to get, this is my prediction for 2025. Clip it and ship it, this one, guys. Clip it and ship it. In 2025, we are going to get 2 brand new codexes. I'm betting on it. One being the Emperor's Children, and I know that's not much of a long stretch because they've said that Emperor's Children are coming. And there's not going to be much. It's going to be like a World Eaters release or a Votan. There's not going to be a lot in it, but it's coming. And then we'll have all the 4 Chaos Gods represented. Lovely. The other thing I predict that we will get is the Dark Mechanicum Codex coming out as well. And so 2 full Chaos stuff plus some other Chaos stuff. And here's the kicker. I think in 2026, when we get 11th, 12th, 13th, whatever edition we're on next, I think Grey Knights will be on the launch box with the new Grey Knight sculpts, Primarisified Grey Knights. That's my prediction. Unless, of course, we get a new Grey Knight Codex next year with all the new sculpts in it. That might happen as well. Because Grey Knights are overdue the Primarisified treatment. They're definitely going to get the Primarisified treatment. So if there's a lot of chaos coming out, I expect to see Grey Knights represented as well, in force, which will make me really happy and really sad at the same time because I really like my Grey Knights. The SAS of the Warhammer 40th Millennium. They're awesome. They're like... But it means I have to get a whole new army. You know what I mean? My opinion on the 1-page rules. Yes, they're more than 1 page. Do you agree there's been a lack of 40k stuff recently? There has been a lack of 40k stuff recently because they did there was an Age of Sigmar thing that kicked off last month. And then this month they had all the Hive Storm things. You know what I mean? The kill team stuff. So on their release schedule, there hasn't been much 40 there because of other things. And I kind of like it. I kind of like the fact that we've gone for more than a month and there hasn't been a change to the points. There hasn't been a change to the rules. We haven't got 5 new lieutenants stood on a rock pointing, things like that. Instead, we have reveals of ratlins holding sausages. And I like sausages. Yeah. I just want my Thousand Sons Legion Castellax. That's not too much. It is too much. You can't have your Thousand Sons Legion Castellax. You can't have it. The only way you can have it is in Horus Heresy, which is getting a new edition in a couple of years' time or next year. And it's really, really popular. We will get a 40k Fulgrim. Yes. Yes. I mean, you can't release an Emperor's Children Codex without a 40k Fulgrim. You released the Death Guard Codex, and we got Mortarion for the first time. When they released the Thousand Sons Codex, we got Magnus for the first time. When they released the World Eaters Codex, we had Angron for the first time. When the Emperor's Children come, we'll get Snake Man Fulgrim himself. No, we're going to get more... Hi, Stuart Fields, all the way from New Zealand. We're going to get more than 2 codexes. It's just the Year of Chaos. It's just we're going to get that and Death Guard and something else and something else. We're going to get some other things as well. You know what I mean? Christian Gopang. It's a bit of the truth. I would love 11th to be Raven Guard versus Word Bearers with both Corax and Lorgar released. That would be nice. It'd be nice if a release came out with 2 Primarchs in it. Would they do 2 Primarchs in one? Don't think so. I think it would take up too much of the news cycle. You've got to do 1 and then yeah. Is Horus Heresy worth trying? Myself having Custodes, and I have a friend who plays BA primarily, and we've thought about having a go. We started back in 7th and heard it's similar. The answer to that question, Mega Scotty, is yes. Yes on toast. Yes on toast. Give Horus Heresy. If you started back in 7th, the foundation of Horus Heresy is 7th back to 3rd edition. That rule set. Yes, you should give it a go. If you like war games and if you like the Warhams, yes, spend all your money, sell a kidney, jump in there. I don't think they'll plastic the latest one, no. See, the thing about the Forge World stuff is that they're all sculpted, and the things, and they pour them by, the resin stuff is hand poured. It's hand cast every single time. So they might, when Heresy 3.0 comes out, just have a picture of the plastic Fulgrim who's available in 40k by that time, and just push the plastic one because they can make many of them for cheaper instead. I think the one that we got for Heresy is a bit of a placeholder for now, though I was very surprised he came out in, yes, something like that. I mean, they can do whatever they want with the narrative between here and there, so maybe Snake Man Fulgrim would have changed a little bit. I don't know. Friendly Neighbour Inquisitor, I got a question. Is there a way for a chapter that doesn't know their gene lineage to learn out their gene lineage? No. There's many chapters who don't know their gene lineage, and some who definitely don't want to find it out, like the Blood Ravens. The Blood Ravens are strongly suspected to have come from the Thousand Sons. The ones in the fleet that were above Prospero before it burned and were sent away, high number of Psychers. Minotaurs, for example, the High Lords of Terror Hitman, the bitch boys of the High Lords of Terror. Who would ever play Minotaurs? Anyway, they're probably World Eaters. And another gene. See, no, you can't find out. Killer Kriegsman, 10 months membership. Thank you very much. Music to my, I don't know what the music, but thank you for being a member for many, many months. Appreciate. Yeah. Oh, Stuart. Okay. Yes, I'm glad the clocks have changed, Stuart. I'm glad the clocks have changed. Killer Kriegsman dropped £1. Thanks, Killer Kriegsman. Thank you for your donation. Legend. If everyone dropped £1, I would have more pounds than I have now. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. You mentioned a potential 2-day narrative event for next year. Any ideas in the pipeline of what it would entail? Yes. I have ideas. It would be a 2-day narrative event of Warhams with dice rolling. It would be set in a place which has got an excuse for many different armies from many different factions to be in that place. There would be some leveling up of some characters. There would be some shenanigans. I don't know if you ever came to any of the other things that I did when DZTV was the thing, but it'd be very similar to that kind of format. It would basically be a trip down the sewer of my brain. For some very specialist missions. I've got ideas. I was literally, last night when I went to bed, I was lying there and I started thinking, because you know what happens, right? You go to bed and you start thinking of 40k. That's what you do every night, right? That's what we do. That's what we all do. Only 40k all the time. I was literally lying in bed and throwing ideas around my brain. And it stopped me going to sleep for about an hour. Just lying there thinking, I could do this, could do this, could do this. The main thing is that it's playable and accessible. And because I've been to narrative events before and ran narrative events before where there's too much stuff going on. And that can overwhelm people. That ultimately it's about the game that you play with the person that you're playing against, with some sweet, sweet narrative goodness sprinkled on top. You just need a sprinkle, a few cherries, a few bit of icing sugar, and maybe a twist of zesty lemon in there. It's all you need to make a narrative sing. Too complicated too soon gets too complicated too soon. Heresy Squat, thank you for don't mention the loft. We're not allowed to mention the loft. If it happens, it happens. Well, where are we? One thing I want is more books like the Forge World Minotauran books when it's all about the campaigns, because I feel that's the best way to write 40k lore personally. Okay. Chewy is in the chat. Everyone say hi to Chewy. Chewy's in the chat. You may have seen him on the channel a few times. The number of times in the videos where I'm chatting with Chewy and we're doing a thing and I pan the camera up and I've cut off half of his head is crazy. And sometimes you see me and you see half of his head and you'll notice a couple of seconds later I pan up a little bit higher because he's a tall lad, is Chewie. See, look, there's some love in the chat for you, Chewie. Yeah, I'd cut off half of his head half the time. To be frank, though, he's not the Mona Lisa, you know? So cutting off half of his face, I reckon is 50% better. I had a random idea for a tournament. Everyone makes the worst list you can think of. Then you get turned up and assigned a random army. That's a terrible idea. That is not a random idea for a tournament, Wraith Raider Rules Guy. That's a terrible idea for a tournament. You're giving people... No, you don't do that. Half of the people won't even know how... No, that just sounds like pain. Look, there's a load of love for Chewie in the chat. Oh, no. He's not wrong, though. You do have a mysterious smile. He's not wrong. Me with ideas is a dangerous thing. Anything can happen. Lots of ideas. Very few plans. I am a pasta man. Yes, thanks for that. We had linguine this evening. I don't know what it is. I was told it was the type of pasta. So I guess it was like spaghetti, but not, because it was cream cheese with like mushroom and onion and bacon bits, and it was delicious. And I got some leftovers for later. So later on, when I'm downstairs watching a bit of Warzone or something like that, I'll smash down the seconds. What is your favourite pasta? That's what I need to know. This is important now. We're on to pasta. On to the important things in life. What is your favourite pasta? I mean, I do like a ravioli and a lasagna, obviously, just like Garfield, who doesn't like lasagna. What is my favourite pasta? I'm not sure. I mean, I just like food. I mean, as you can tell. But the linguine tonight was absolutely delicious. Eternal Crusader says, Winters! Hi, Eternal Crusader. Homemade lasagna. To be fair, I've had some awesome homemade lasagna, which I would murder for. Like, this lasagna is so good. If someone tried to take any of this away from me, even a bite, I would kill them with my teeth. I've also had some homemade lasagna, which I would happily give away. There is a one hell of a scale between good homemade pasta and good homemade lasagna and bad home. It's one of those dishes that it seems to be really easy to screw up. I imagine if I cooked lasagna, you wouldn't probably want to eat it. The best pasta is rigatoni or cavatappi. I don't even know what cavatappi is. I think you're taking the piss, right? Cavatappi is not a pasta. I've never heard of that in my life. When the Emperor's Children come out, will you be building up an army? I'm sorely tempted to dip into... I've got Emperor's Children in 30k. And they do like the extremes. And if they're purple... Ooh. I do like the thing. I think Chewie and I need to play... No. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, Wraith Raider is tall as well. Chewie is tall as well. And it's... Look, yeah. But no. Cavatappi. What were we talking about? Yeah, Emperor's Children. Yeah, it'll come down to the minis. It's like when I saw the Death Guard minis, I was like, I have to get them. Papa Nurgle is so happy and jolly. I looked at the Death Guard minis when they were launched with Mortarion in it, and Mortarion was like the kicker. It's like, I mean, the Mortarion miniature is arguably better than the Magnus miniature. For a couple of, I'll put it on the table. Why? Magnus, he's got big horny nipples. Now, I understand the chaos thing, and I understand you're supposed to look at the big horny nipples and go, why has he got big horny nipples? That's a bit weird, isn't it? And it's supposed to be weird, and it's supposed to generate that kind of reaction, a bit like it just is. But they're, and then he's got the moth wings and the things. He's got all the 1 minute. Eamon is back. Hi, Eamon. $50 in the chat. Thank you, Eamon. Can we give a massive round of GGs in the chat for Eamon? That's a massive donation. Thank you very much. He says, "Loft for the Loft God, the pillows for the comfy throne." Nice. I hope we're able to achieve it. It's a long dream. It's a long shot, and I appreciate everyone chipping in. But GG's, Eamon. You absolute legend. Eamon. It's Eamon, isn't it? It's an Irish thing. Eamon. Thank you. Goddamn legend. And Magnus doesn't have happy little nurglings either. He doesn't. I'm doing an EC Army for Heresy, enjoying it. We'll post pics in the Discord later. Yes, please. Please do it. But yeah, nice work, Eamon. Thank you very much. You legend. Absolute legend. Thank you for supporting the channel so much. I'm sorry I'm not drinking from the mug club, guys. But I'm a bit shredded after the weekend. And I had to get up early this morning. And so I needed a big mug of coffee, not the little mug of coffee. So this is a double mug of double coffee with double sugar, keeping me going. I was falling off a cliff earlier on after the pasta. You know, pasta in your stomach makes you a bit... So that is my impression of someone who's very tired. So I had to have a double coffee. Keeping me alive. Jackus Wood is gifted 10 memberships as well. Thank you, Jackus Woods. GG's in the chat for Jackus Woods as well. I'm feeling well loved this evening. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you very much. Absolute legends. Jackus Woods, thank you for coming along to Element Games for March of Winters 2. Jackus Wood, by the way, for the last 6 months on the live streams, we've been thinking Jackus Woods has been French. Guess what? He's not French. He's pretend French. I asked him about it, and he was like, nah. But then when he came up to get his thing, he said French words to me. So he's pretend French. Now I'm all kerfuffled. I don't know whether he's French or not. A bit like Tassanara, because Tassanara says he's not from Japan, but I'm sure he's in Shogun. Great TV show, though. So Jackus Woods, not convinced if he's French or not. I'm confused. But thank you for your gifting 10 memberships. Thank you. That's tier 2 memberships, which unlocks the Discord for all you lucky people out there. And then tier 3 membership gets you the extra back report every single Wednesday. I wish I could find a way to do the YouTubes so when gifting goes to tier 3 instead of tier 2. But I've tried it. The Machine God has tried it. The Tech Priest downstairs, she who must be obeyed, has tried it. And I can't. Jackus Woods, member for 18 months. Right, you gits that got memberships. Get yourself upgraded to tier 3. You won't regret it. Says the maybe Frenchman. Upgrade to tier 3 for £1 more. Get yourself an extra back report every single Winter's Wednesday. Pretend French, Canadian. Nice. Oh dear. There's a lot of the pretend French in New Orleans as well, right? Also in London, just as my younger sister lives in London, there's a crazy number of French people who live in London. I think most people who live in London are not from London. Most people who live in London are not from the UK. They're from everywhere else. Mind you, I guess that's what it's like in most major cities around the world. They're from everywhere else. Like Cowth or Cadia. You know. Is it too soon for all the Cadians out there? Is that too soon? That's probably too soon. Upgrade to tier 3 or face censure from the Holy Ordos, says Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor, and he knows where you live. New Orleans is called Creole? Creole. It's like Gambit from X-Men, right? Yes, I did watch Wolverine and Deadpool. And Gambit in that, I don't know who that actor was, but like when you see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, you're like, yes. When you see Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, you're like, yes. When you see Professor X as Professor X, Patrick dude, you're like, yes. There's some people like, yes, that works. But it wasn't a convincing Gambit for me. And I like the fact that Deadpool took the piss out of his accent as well. It was lovely. Channing Tatum. Yes. Tatum. Channing Tatum. Was he the best choice for... Was he... Maybe if he gets his own movie ever, maybe it'll turn into be... Mind you, don't give him his own movie because Marvel movies these days are crap, aren't they? They just are. Not character driven anymore. They're following the algorithm. Let's have more CGIs. Let's have more explosions. Let's just have this. Let's just have that. Back in the day when it was just Iron Man, and back in the day when it was just, remember when it was all about the character in a small condensed story? Now it's multiverse of all over the place. I don't know what the hell is going on. I think that's why the Batman with Penguin is out at the moment. Great TV show. Check it out. Focus on the characters. You don't need 28 different characters in 28 different worlds. I want just one is nice. Where are we? He was just there because he wanted to make the Gambit movie for 20 years, but he didn't get picked up. Oh, no. The Ryan Reynolds. He was supposed to be the star of his own movie, but they axed it. Oh, so there was inner stuff. Channing Tatum actually grew up where Gambit did. The accent was legitimately right. Dude, I didn't know that. It's a bit like Mike Myers in, Donkey in, you see Austin Powers and all that. Like Mike Myers' parents are like Scottish, like proper Scottish. I saw an interview once and he's like, yeah, I could do the accent because he grew up around the accent all the time, which is why his accent is so convincing. Yeah. I think he is the best choice for one reason. He's been trying to play Gambit for over a decade. Gambit was his favourite hero as a kid. Yes. Okay, cool. And Robert Pattinson, Batman, excellent. Robert Pattinson, the Batman, 10 out of 10. Well, no. The first 2/3 of the movie, 10 out of 10. The last third of the movie, cut. It should have finished shortly after they caught the Riddler. Do a finished thing, gone. But the whole flooding, again, they tried to make it too... You can tell that the executives at the end saying, hey, we need a really big final act here. Something that is like world ending or city ending for this thing. Something for our cinema goers to leave the cinema going, wow, that was amazing. And so I mandate that we put in some massive explosions. In that other movie, they had that Bane guy with the things and stuff. Anyway, that is my John Grammaticus accent from Toby Longworth. Speaking of X-Men, you played any Crisis Protocol? No. I think the ending was for kids, as they realised there was no fighting. Yes. Yeah, he is a great actor. I did watch The Lighthouse. No idea what was going on with him and William Dafoe. I mean, fantastic movie by all accounts, probably. But it was in black and white. It was an arty movie. And the people who I watch reviews on the thing saying, hey, check this out. So it was saying, like, you have to watch The Lighthouse. So watch The Lighthouse. And I really, with William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, and I really appreciated the acting in it. I had no idea what was going on. There was a lighthouse. There was a mermaid. There was lots of drinking. There was an old person, a young person, and everybody died. I mean, spoiler, by the way. But it's an art house movie. Or did everyone die? I think someone lived. It was one of those movies that was trying to tell you a story about something real lifey. That would probably get an award. Probably got an award at Cannes Film Festival or something. The Guardian probably loved it and gave it 10 out of 10. That sort of thing. Basically a black and white movie with great acting in it. You don't need to... I mean, Memento. Christopher Nolan's Memento. Great, simple, perfectly told story. If you haven't seen Memento, do yourself a favour. Go and check out Memento from Christopher Nolan. One of his earliest movies. I think it was his second one or his third one. I think it's his second one or third one. 10 out of 10. That is a good... And that has a story. That has a plot. That has a forward and a backwards and an all. It's great. I mean, people in the chat, anyone see Memento in the chat? One's in the chat if you see Memento. Don't leave me hanging here. High five. High five. One's in the chat if you see Memento. Banging movie. Last good film you've ever seen. I don't want to say Deadpool or Wolverine because Deadpool and Wolverine for me was more of a sequence of comedy skits which they stitched together in a movie. It doesn't feel like much of a movie. Plenty of people watch Memento. Yeah. Nice. Watched Memento with my son recently. It's such a pleasure putting great cinema in front of him, and he loved it. Nice. Oppenheimer. Yes, Oppenheimer was fantastic. I can't remember if I've seen Memento. I have a weird tattoo saying I have, though. Nice. I saw Transformers 1. It was good. Godzilla Minus 1 was good. Last good movie I saw. Last good movie I saw. Has there been any recent good movies recently? Any at all? Any good ones? I mean, I like movies. I know you. We like movies. We're creative people. We're in this hobby. We like creating. We like imagination. We like distant worlds. We like the things. I can't remember the last good movie I saw. Probably Oppenheimer, but I know I've seen one since there. Godzilla Minus 1. And I know I've seen a couple. I made time for my brain. I don't know. I'm trying to talk and read, and I don't know. I can't remember. The best movie ever was Over the Top. Dune Part 2. Yes. Dune Part 2. Probably the best, most recent movie I have seen. Yes. Alien Covenant was... No, Alien Covenant was a big pile of poo. Alien Romulus is also a big pile of poo. Alien Romulus is good at the beginning, the bit on the world, and then the rest of it is bits of other alien movies stitched together. It's a member-berry catastrophe. It's got bits of other stitched in. It doesn't make any sense. All the characters in it are goddamn idiots, and they're completely unmemorable. My eyes hurt after watching Alien Romulus. Do not watch that movie if you haven't seen it. It is terrible. Winters don't make me sad. I'm sorry you've got bad taste. I'm sorry. But it's a terrible movie. Beginning, middle, and the end doesn't make sense. The fact that it's floating around on a planet. There's a world controlled by Weyland Yutani thing, and up above them there's this space station where they're 3D printing aliens, which has gone dark, and the Weyland Yutani people don't go up to it at all and don't know anything about it and haven't been told, and the premise itself doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It just doesn't. And the characters are just I can't remember any of their names except for I can't even remember the android guy's name, but he's quite good. That's the one good bit. Am I right? I am right. It's my goddamn channel. I'm goddamn right. Romulus made me so mad. What a way to utterly mess up a great 20 minutes. Yes. Not sure why no one has ever made a Judge Dredd film. Wraith Raider, someone has made a Judge Dredd film. There's a movie called Dredd. It is one. There are three absolutely fantastic cartoon movie adaptations. The three greatest of all time. I stand by this. Dredd with Carl Urban. Check it out. It's amazing. Constantine with John Wick in it. Forget his name. And Blade, the OG Blade. All three of them for like adult sort of R-rated. I mean, comic book movie. There's plenty of good comic book movies as well. I mean, Endgame and Infinity War, fantastic. Captain America, Civil War, all of those OG ones, they're good. But for R-rated adult comic stuff, those three are amazing. Last film I saw was the third Disney Star Wars. It killed. Look, I after Disney Star Wars 2. The second one, I have not watched, apart from Andor, I have not watched any Star Wars after the second one where Luke Skywalker died. This is why. If they came out with a sci-fi movie of Warhammer 40k and the Space Marines in it knew fear and turned and fled or were cowering in some trenches, if they knew some kind of fear because they wanted to humanize them, then I wouldn't watch or spend any more time with that franchise, because that's not what Space Marines are. They know no fear. That movie, when you've got a Jedi does not give in to doubt. A Jedi does not. Once you walk down the dark past, forever it will dominate your destiny. You guys grew up on Star Wars. I grew up on Star Wars, the extended universe, all the things, and The Luke Skywalker in that movie, one, isn't Luke Skywalker, and two, that's not how Jedi. It doesn't make canon. It doesn't make any narrative sense to me. It doesn't fit the head canon at all. So I stopped right there. I haven't watched it anymore. And I resisted watching. I watched a bit of Mandalorian, but stopped after the first couple. And then I was like, no, it's done. It's done. The people who are writing this stuff do not understand the canon. Or they're trying to change the canon or bring it, or I don't know what they're trying to do with it, but it's okay to stop watching TV shows. Like Dexter Season 3, stop there. Game of Thrones Season 5, stop there. The Walking Dead Season 4, stop there. It's okay in TV shows to get to a certain point with your thing and stop before it gets ruined. They're very, very rare are the TV shows like Breaking Bad, which actually end good or bad, are actually worth watching all the way through, or The Wire, or things like that. There's some TV shows that are worth watching. Very few are worth watching in their entirety. And the same with movie franchises, TV franchises, things like that. They have a place, they have a time, and then stop. Otherwise, it will ruin the canon. And that's what I did with the Star Wars. I haven't watched the third Disney Star Wars movie. I'm never going to watch the third Disney Star Wars movie, because the canon is and it's same if they did the same with 40K and someone came up and it wasn't my head canon, then that could be someone else's story. Someone else can enjoy that. Someone else can have fun with that. I appreciate that people have lots of different tastes and flavors, and it is the internet. And whatever I say, there'll be someone out there who vehemently disagrees with me and thinks it's the greatest thing since Marmite on toast. I get it. People are entitled to their opinion. This is just my opinion. But my opinion is that doesn't fit my head canon, and I'm old. I'm like really, really old. So I'm happy to enjoy certain franchises for a period of time, and when they turn, I've seen it. It happened before. It happened with the X-Files. Don't know if you guys have seen Supernatural. That goes off the rails. But it happens all the time. So you got to know when to draw the line and not let it ruin the rest of you, or when to come in, or see, this is, yes. Rant over. Christian Kapang, member for 21 months. My dream Star Wars trilogy is realized with the temple in... Thank you for 21 months. Thank you. Legend, 21 months. Thank you for your support. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. Thank you to all my members, all my subscribers, everyone who likes the stream. Click and like the stream. Thank you. Legends all. My dream Star Wars trilogy is realized with the Templum Institute on YouTube, by the way. Fantastic videos. They do a bunch on the Imperium on 40K. Check out Templin Institute on YouTube. You'll find some good videos there. New trilogy, reimagining the whole universe. Give it a listen. It's all. I will check it out. I haven't seen that one because it's my subscription thing. You know, like on YouTube, you subscribe to X number of channels. Gets so long that I have to trim it every now and then. And Templum Institute is one of those that comes back and then gets trimmed away, and then comes back and gets trimmed away, because I'm only really interested in the 40K stuff. But I'm literally writing that down because they make banger videos. Where's my pen? Found my pen. Star Wars trilogy, Templum Institute. I am going to check that shit out. Templin. Thank you for the suggestion, Christian Kopang. Templin Institute. Where are we? Down at the bottom. I wish with Star Wars they gave us don't know what. After what? Westworld Season 1. Yes, that's a good idea. Do we have an over-under on the... no one knows. Look, so the Henry Cavill and 40K, you're going to get loads and loads... There's loads of videos and loads of articles throughout this entire year. There's lots of YouTubers out there as well saying lots of shit about the whole thing. Like, this is the ruin and this is happening. And the truth is, at the beginning of the year, they said it would take a year of discussions between Games Workshop and Amazon. A year. We've still got 3 months to go. Then at the end of this year, or assuming beginning of next year, they'll let us know whether they're deciding to move forward with the product or not. Because you may or may not have noticed that Games Workshop are religious when it comes to their IP. There's a quote from the guys who made Space Marine 2, in IGN. I was reading an article on IGN, and they were asking the guys, "Hey, Games Workshop are notoriously difficult with their IP. Can you give us? Did you run into any problems?" And he said, "Yes." Because it took a long time to make, and it was like I said, "Look, I won't get into any details, but I'll give you an example of one of the problems that we ran into. They told us that the ankles on some of our character models were wrong, and we had to change them. This is ankles on power armor." Games Workshop are religious with their IP, as religious as a tech priest praying to a toaster. And fair play on them. It doesn't matter how terrible the game is, because there's been hundreds of Games Workshop video games that are absolutely terrible and not worth getting. They'll give it out to anyone, so long as they stick to the IP. So they said it would take a year of IP discussions and negotiations between the lawyers and things. So no one knows. And if you watch YouTube videos and they don't know either. Or articles, they don't know. We'll find out either at the end of this year, beginning of next year, where it's going. But it's a year of delicate talking. Henry Cavill, Ungentlemanly Warfare. Go watch it. Says Blood Buffalo. Hi, Blood Buffalo. Yes, that's one of the ones I intend to watch, because that is from Guy Ritchie, and I've watched all of Guy Ritchie's movies and The Gentleman. I like Guy Ritchie, even his bad one with Madonna in it. Which one was in it? He did a really bad movie once. I watched that one as well. I like Guy Ritchie movies. Funny as Games Workshop borrowed their ideas from other IPs. Heresy Squat. Absolute heresy from Heresy Squat. Games Workshop never borrowed any IP from anyone ever. The Tyranids are legitimately 100% their own IP and bear no relation to Geiger's aliens whatsoever. The Tau bear no relation to Gundam whatsoever. It's all just purely coincidental. It's 100% the Emperor's work. Heresy from you. Your name is Heresy Squat. I wouldn't expect such heresy. Where are we? The Ultramarines movie. Nice. It's great clickbait. Titan Extreme. Henry Cavill 40k update. I know. Like next Tuesday, the live stream is Henry Cavill 40k update. Instead of, what's the title for this one? Insert title here. I couldn't think of a title. But yeah, Henry Cavill 40k. Yeah, it's clickbait. Where are we? Gonna start a female custodies army, so I could just call them the Golden Girls. Funny. There's absolutely nothing similar to Paradise. There's absolutely nothing similar to Paradise Lost in the Heresy at all. No. Corax is nothing to do with there. Odin, the Eye, Magnus, that one eye looking inwards, nothing. There's a difference between being inspired by and copying outright. Yeah. Thank you for being a friend. The Golden Girls, man. Classic. You don't get TV like that anymore. Mind you, don't get TV anymore, do you? Gen Z, like TikToks all the way. I haven't even got a TikTok. I don't think I've ever been on the TikToks. It's like YouTube Shorts, right? But with more acid. If you want to feel like a 1960s hippie, TikTok is for you. Slightly tepid coffee. Can't believe Tolkien invented time travel so he could steal dwarves, elves and orcs from Games Workshop for his rip-off. Lord of the Rings. I know, Tolkien, famous time traveller. He had a DeLorean. And he came, and then he went, and then he stole all the things from Games Workshop. All of Games Workshop IP. Where are we? Bork Break. Love your content, mate. Great to paint along to. Thank you, Bork Break. Thanks for I appreciate it. Normally I'm just getting abused. When was the first orc? I think Tuesday. Marius Gage, member for 17 months. Thank you for your membership for 17 months, Mr. Marius Gage. Thank you. Legend, my theory is the heresy is based on a kind of magic by Queen. It all fits. It's a kind of magic. Did you know they're doing another Highlander and Henry Cavill is the Highlander? I mean, it's one of those that they don't really need to touch because it is one of the greatest movies of all time with one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. But it does look a bit dated in the special effects these days. And Henry Cavill is the Emperor of Mankind. So it can't be bad. It can't be like the Crow remake bad, which was, let's face it, a crime against humanity. Don't ever watch that movie either. Just the Crow, the OG one with Brandon Lee, R.I.P., respect, is, again, I've seen that movie so many times. I own the soundtrack. It's amazing. One of the worst sequels ever. What are we talking about? The Crow movie isn't a sequel. The new one is just it's just an abomination, is what it is. Not that I've seen it, but I've heard that it is an abomination from someone who saw it. And I remember telling them, you don't want to see that. I saw the trailer for the new Crow movie and thought, this is studios just doing studio things, isn't it? I mean, why is he even called Eric Draven? Because the Crow thing, he could be another Crow now. He doesn't have to be Eric Draven and Shelley. It could be the Crow again and a new story with the Crow. It could, but no. So when I saw the trailer, I thought, no. Particularly when, I mean, like, say, Highlander probably doesn't need remaking because it's one of the greatest movies of all time. It only probably needs remaking because dodgy special effects, you can watch movies that are old, like A Bridge Too Far and The Dirty Dozen, things like that, Fistful of Dollars. And though they're dated, they don't take you out of the movie with any adverse special effects because the stories are just so good and they don't have that many special effects, just practical effects. They're great movies now. They stand the test of time now. Highlander is looking very dated, so it probably does need a remake. Just please don't screw it up. Please don't screw it up. Please don't screw it up. Tell us about film about the what? Leon. Leon, French assassin, Leon. One's in the chat if you've seen Leon. That's by the guy who did The Fifth Element, Luc Besson. He did The Fifth Element and he did Leon, and Leon is Luc Besson's best work, though he also did that one with Jet Li. I forget which the name, and that one's really outstanding as well. One. Yes, you guys have seen Leon. That is an amazing movie. Check out Leon. That actually, tonight, after this, go into your Google, go into your Amazons or your Netflix or whatever, find Leon, watch it, you will love it. Contained, condensed storytelling, and Gary Oldman was fantastic in Leon. One of his greatest performances in Leon. It's just, every moment he's on the screen, he is just stealing it. Why he wasn't nominated for an Oscar for that movie, I do not know. I like these quiet little moments before the storm. Sounds like Beethoven. Just fantastic. Leon was cool. Had Natalie Portman in it too. Yes, another epic Gary Oldman performance. Has Gary Oldman ever put in a bad performance? Event Horizon is an amazing film. It is. It's what happens when you go into the warp without a Gellerfield. They discovered warp travel before they discovered Gellerfield technology. We all know about Event Horizon in the chat. We've talked about it a lot in the live stream. Everyone's seen Event Horizon. Everyone agrees it is a fantastic movie. I told you my story like I went into the wrong theatre. It came out at the same time as Star Trek. I got the ticket to go see Event Horizon and went into the Star Trek movie rather than the Event Horizon movie. And I sat in the Star Trek movie for about 5 minutes before I realised it was Star Trek and not Event Horizon. I thought, wow, this is in space and things are a bit shiny. It's amazing. Event Horizon is a 40k history story. It is. It's 40k history. It is. It was inspired by the core idea of Event Horizon. It's the guy, I forget his name. He was inspired by 40k. That's where he got the idea from. The idea, it's the nugget underneath. That's why we can see the bits. See the bits? When you pull down your pants and you can see the bits? That's what he saw when he made Event Horizon. Yeah, the bits underneath. Probably need a shower. Yeah. Zulu is another great older movie of Michael. Yes. Zulu, fantastic movie. The reason why many people have, God damn it, what are they called? Bretonians. That's where Bretonians came from. My brother and I saw Event Horizon in the theatre and he had to watch the Disney Channel for 3 hours to calm down. Favorite cheesy action hero movie? Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Turbo Man. Does that count? That is the one that immediately popped into my head. Brilliant Christmas movie. I've watched it a lot. Oh, Commando. There you go. Commando. Cheesy action movie. Commando. 10 out of 10. It is hilarious these days, watching it all the way through. It's hot. Yes. Commando is very, very difficult to watch with a straight face. It's that bad. It's good. Mind you, having said that, I've watched Sharknado 1 through 4. I do like a good Sharknado, and Sharknado in space is amazing as well. But I'd have to go with Commando. I'd love to get some Praetorians, so would I. Expensive. Are you lot still talking? I just built a Death Company Dreadnought while you were all yapping. Last Action Hero is good, but not favourite cheesy movie. Are any large 30k bat reps coming up? Still the best bat reps should the big... We just had one, didn't we? We just had a 5,000 point Heresy battle report. It literally came out like last week. And tomorrow, on Winter's Wednesday, for Tier 3 channel members, is a 4,000 point Horus Heresy battle report with my Iron Hands, which I've got up to about 6,000 points of Iron Hands now, versus Iron Warriors and Knights. And it's a good one. Planes, Trains and Automobiles, great movie. Sharknado 3, I've heard, is the best. I think I preferred the first one the most, but Sharknado 2, not as good. Sharknado 3 is good. Yes. You're getting old, John. Am I considering any narrative games for 30k? I just did one. 5,000 point narrative game where the Destroyer Nemesis Company, 22nd chapter of the Ultramarines, the Nemesis Destroyers, tried to take the Gateway. Victoria Miniatures makes some great guard proxies for a lot of guard regiments. There you go. Christian Kapang is giving you the info. It's giving you the slice, giving you the insiders. If you create guard and you want some good guard proxies, check out Victoria Miniatures. Tell you who else you should check out as well. Den of Imagination Painting Studios. They have their own Patreon and they are constantly creating 3D print STL files for all you 3D printers out there. And they do a guard range. I said do. They do a guard range. They do a traitor guard range. Den of Imagination on Patreon. Any miniatures that you see there that you want to buy because you don't have a 3D printer, you can go to marchofwar.co.uk because he's got a trade license and he can print and supply you with the miniatures. There's some Nurgle stuff that came out recently. There's some lovely stuff. Absolutely lovely stuff there. As well as lots of good proxies. Blood Buffalo's got Bolt Action 3rd edition and he's excited to try it. I have tried some Bolt Action. I played it for a bit and then put it down again. It is much, much cheaper than 40k. And you can pick it up. And inside there's the rules and there's 2 armies in a box for like 80 quid. Less than 80 quid when I got it. It's a whole game with 2 whole armies in. It's like... yeah. I think there's limited replayability in it though. But that's just me because I played the shit out of it when it came out all those years ago, 1st edition. But yeah, that's me. But you might like it and you might be less of an addictive personality than me and not play the crap out of it and pace it a bit better. Yes. But I do recommend Bolt Action. It's good fun. and not that complicated. Arnie or Sly? Van Damme. Double cut. Double cut. Double cut. Bam. Bloodsport. Would you consider doing an Istvan massacre bat rep spanning multiple bat reps? Yes. I haven't got the scenery or the armies to do that, but I would love to do that. I have an addictive personality to Total War Warhammer 3. I have an addictive personality to Space Marine 2. Bolt action. They've added pretty much every country ever. What, including Uganda? Nice. Arnold wins because of Terminator 2, but Sly is the best actor. I mean, Arnie isn't really an actor, is he? But Sylvester Stallone can act, strangely enough. He can act. Where are we? How long have we been banging on? An hour and 12 minutes? An hour and 12 minutes. Van Damme is the best answer. Yes. New Space Marine 2 patch today. Please let it crack. Yes, there was a Space Marine 2 patch today because I played it a bit with Sultan Plays from Sultan Plays YouTube channel. And we felt that the Thousand Suns seemed to... I didn't notice any... Personally, I didn't notice any difference to it at all. But Sultan thinks that the Thousand Suns have got a bit more chonk again because they got a bit weaker, but he thinks... I'm not sure. Arnie is not an actor. He is Mr. Universe. That was terrible, wasn't it? That was almost as terrible as my John Grammaticus from Toby Longworth or Jonathan Keeble. Is it Toby Longworth or Jonathan Keeble? I don't know which one. Either of them, best narrators ever. Ever. Ever, ever. Fiesta, yeah, no, Expendables. Like, Expendables 1, good. Expendables 2, yeah, stop. Keeble, it's Keeble, is it? Yeah, I mean, some people, I don't know who's better out of Keeble or Longworth. They're both fantastic. Who was the behind the intro to that game you played with Sultan and his Blood Angels? That was Sultan. That was Sultan with the Blood Angels Codex, because you had to, so if you watched it when it came out, that was on day of NDA release, 2 weeks before you could pick up the book. And I was fighting Sultan at the weekend to film it, or before the weekend to film it. So I gave him the book. He's on the NDA. I gave him the book to read it. And he said, it's fantastic. I filmed a little thing. I was like, yeah, I stuck that in the beginning. Because, yeah, that was Sultan going, finally. That he's got the... It's an inside joke for I think 2 people on the internet got it. But I thought it was funny. So I stuck it in the video. The new Blade Runner was good. Controversial opinion. The new Blade Runner is better than the older Blade Runner. There, I said it. I said it. I said it. I don't think Ridley Scott's all that. I mean, I like Alien. And Gladiator is good. It's an 8 out of 10, but it's not Gladiator isn't like, I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 Gladiator. I did go to the cinema and see it twice. It's a really good movie. It's a fantastic movie. But it's not like one of the greatest of all time. It doesn't come up in the greatest of all time discussions, Gladiator. It comes up in one of the best, but not one of the greatest. Ridley Scott he's good. But the new Blade Runner is better than the old Blade Runner. Ridley Scott is hit and miss, says Sultan Plays from Sultan Plays YouTube channel. Napoleon was bad, says Sultan Plays from Sultan Plays YouTube channel. Hi, Sultan Plays from Sultan Plays YouTube channel. I'll tell you why Sultan Plays is in the chat right now. Because I promised him a game of Space Marine 2 after I got off this live stream. And I'm overshooting. Who narrated the audible version of Vulcan Lives? Because that version of Grammaticus made me want to punch his face. I don't know. Gladiator is better if you don't watch it and just remember it. Good evening, sir, says Sullivan Gilbert. Good evening, Sullivan Gilbert. Nice to see you in the chat. I think there are more Ridley Scott misses than hits these days. Yeah, I mean, again, writing stories. Like Stephen King fell off towards the end, didn't he? Well, I don't know if Stephen King fell off towards the end, but it's like his editor. You know, like Stephen King at the start was just another writer. So when he put in his books, the editor would have said, no, you need to cut this out. You need to do that. And here's some ideas and go away. And then he went back and rewrote and re-edited and yeah. And then later on, when Stephen Cook was putting his books in, the publishers were like, yep, we'll publish that straight away. Yep, we'll publish that straight away. Yep, we'll publish it. It's a bit like The Matrix and Matrix 2 and 3. It's like the first Matrix movie. The studios were like, well, we need to tighten. And then The Matrix 2 and 3 is like, do whatever you want. Here's all the money in the world. And The Matrix 2 and 3 are good, but it's not the way I would have gone with the story. I mean, it's good for the visual aspect of it. But if he can stop bullets in midair, why is he doing any of the kung fu fighting at all? Why? You can stop. It just there's things about that. Denis Villeneuve is one of the best. I was actually checking to see if I am still going Sultan Plays. I am, but we're wrapping it up now. We're wrapping it up. Guys and girls, squigs and cats. Thank you for coming along to this Talky Tuesday live stream. This is your 2-minute warning. Hey, Detroit Lions are doing really well, aren't they? This is your 2-minute warning. Any last questions, requests, and things like that, please pitch it in. Sultan Plays is in the chat, and he's nagging me because I said I'd keep it to an hour, and we can go and play Space Marine 2, and he's in. So you could blame him. I'm partial to Tarantino because despite being his own editor, he makes such engaging characters. Yeah, character-driven story. We love it. Yes, Tarantino. Even his misses are good, and his hits are. I mean, if you don't like Tarantino, you won't like. You're not nagging. I know you're not nagging. I'm sort of If you don't like Tarantino, you don't like Tarantino. But would you consider doing a 7th edition bat rep? Yes, I've done many of them. Been thoroughly enjoying the narrative ease of Horus Heresy reports, but love to see some Necrons or Orcs in the mix. Yeah, go back in the channel, and you can see some from like 10 years ago. I'm a New England Patriot fan and I don't feel so good. I'm a Denver Broncos fan. Well, I've been a Denver Broncos fan for a long time. And now I like the sport so much. I mean, I like to see Denver do well, but I just like anyone. Like, I want to see Brett Favre do well at the Jets, don't we all? And it was great to see Kirk Cousins get in the 500 club, Minnesota, last week. I like the story. Look, if I was a boxing person, and I'm not, but wouldn't it have been epic if you were a boxing person to be around during the time when Mike Tyson was knocking everyone out? Even if you didn't like Mike Tyson, you can say, I watched them. I was there at the time where this phenom came on the scene and did all these things. And I'm a bit like that with American football now. I like the story. So there's some teams I like more than others. But generally, good game. You know what I mean? Seahawks fan, feeling bad as normal. The Jets aren't going to win this division, are they? They're not going to win this division. Baltimore Ravens. Okay. Minnesota Vikings fans are eating good this season. Are they? You see, the thing about Minnesota Vikings is I think the last couple of seasons they went 5-0. They always fall off a cliff. Minnesota always falls off a cliff. They ain't got the legs to run that race. My prediction is, I wouldn't put any money on them. Do you watch the European League of Football? I don't even know what that is. Hey, everyone, just joined the 13th today. Finally, hope to get some felon tech. Yes, Scotty6 Chips has joined the Discord, has joined the fleet today. Thank you very much. Jump in the chat, say hello to everyone, jump in the Discord. There may be a few Texans out and about. So there might be a few Texans in the Discord. There might be a few Texans in the chat. Craven AMG and Blood Buffalo are definitely from America land, but I know you've got a slightly large country, so they could be a long way from me. A long way away from me. Let me be a blissful in my fanboying of the Vikings having a great season. The Vikings have had a great season so far. The Vikings have had many great seasons at the start of many years and fallen off a cliff. But they're looking good right now. Sultan Play says, I like rugby. when the man hits the other man's and the egg ball gets over the line. Thank you, Sultan. Yeah, it's American football season. I normally finish off the chat with a bit of American football. I do like the old American football. It's just the drama of it. Go All Blacks. And on that bombshell, happy wargaming.